I welcome to one and all this platform Sathya Zerograzing for the today's webinar on external parasitic diseases in case of sheep and goat. So we very well know about the importance of parasitic diseases in case of sheep and goat. So in case of sheep and goat, there are a number of skin infection which can cause economic losses in case of small ruminants like bacterial diseases, viral diseases, parasitic, then some hormonal imbalance diseases, nutritional deficiency diseases. All they are nowadays we are observing in case of the small ruminants. But among all these different etiological differentiation of the skin diseases, so ectoparasitic skin diseases we are frequently encountered in case of small ruminant. Because nowadays, due to the intensive farming and due to the less space occupied to the sheep and goat farming, so due to the close contact of all these sheep and goat animal, there is a frequent spreading of such diseases we are nowadays seeing in case of the small ruminants. So today we will deal about with the external parasitic diseases of the sheep and goat. So first we will discuss about in short regarding the structure and functions of the skin. So in all animals, skin it is act as an enclosing barrier. So it will protect the internal organs of any animal. So it act as a sensation for any external stimuli. It act as a sensation. So thermoregulation, important function of skin. So through the cutaneous blood supply, sweat gland, skin itself it maintain the temperature of the skin temperature of the animal. Also, it is having some role in excretion of the toxic substances and secretion of some substances. One of the important function it is immune function. So these keratinocytes of the skin or uppermost layer of the skin, it is having major role in the immunity of the animal. Then synthesis of vitamin D. So this calcium, it is synthesized in case of the bone marrow as well as in the Pierce patches of the intestine. So for the proper absorption of this calcium, vitamin D it is needed. And the skin, with the help of these sun rays or sunlight, it absorbs the vitamin D from the sunlight and it is converted to its active form that is called calciferol. And this vitamin D it is necessary for the proper absorption of the calcium from the bone marrow as well as from the intestine of the animal. So in this picture, you can see the picture of the skin or anatomical structure of the skin. It is having major three layers. Uppermost layer, it is the epidermis. Then again, this epidermis, it is having the four sublayers, that is stratum, spinosum, basal layer, like that. Then second most layer, which is important, and middle layer, it is the dermis, which is having the major functions or structures in that layer. That is nerve endings, blood vessels, sweat glands, hair follicle. All these structures, they are present in the middle layer of the skin. And the innermost and last layer, it is the subcutaneous layer. And it containing the fat, which is required to maintain the energy to the skin or body of the animal. So in short, this is the anatomical structure of the skin. So what is the difference of the sheep and goat skin from the rest of the animals? So in case of the goat, the skin of the forehead, it is somewhat thick as compared to the other body parts. So this forehead skin and dorsal abdomen skin, it is thick as compared to the other skin of the animal. And also typically this sheep and goat, they are having typical buck odor or ram odor. So this buck odor, it is due to the presence of some secretory glands at the base of horn or at the medial aspect of the horn, which are synthesizing some lipid or some cholesterolic substances and which will give the typical odor to the goat. As well as in case of ram, this medial canthus of eye, it containing secretory or they are secreting some substances which will give typical odor and which is helpful in case of the reproduction as well as it will give a typical smell to the skin of sheep and goat. Also the hair follicle. So sheep and goats, they are having the compound type of hair follicle. While in case of these dog and cat and equine, we are found the simple type of hair follicle. While in case of this canine and sheep and goat, we are having compound type of hair follicle. So whenever there is a hair follicle or hair loss, it will occur At that time, bunch of hairs we can find in case of sheep and goat due to the presence of the compound type of hair follicle in case of the sheep and goat. Also, it is having primary follicle and secondary follicle. It is divided into the two parts. And this primary follicle, it mainly protects the skin of the animal. And the secondary hair follicle, it is known as the undercoat, which is required for the preparation of some cosmetic material like shawl and this muffler, this winter wear articles we can prepare from the mohair or angora breed of the goat, especially. So these are the typical characteristics of the sheep and goat skin. So this is the importance of external parasites. So we found there are two types of parasites, endoparasite and ectoparasites. So whenever the animals they are having parasitic infestation, so in that case we can found the economical losses due to the endo or ectoparasites. So endoparasites again they are very difficult to diagnose. So on the basis of fecal examination or pot belly appearance, rough skin coat, we can diagnose the disease or submandibular edema. But these external parasites, they are very much visible to the naked eye. And whatever the skin it is affected, because skin it is called as a mirror of any animal. And whenever there is a damage to the hide or skin of animal, it is there. So at that time, that animal they are exhibiting the clinical signs. So major external parasites which found in any animal, they are the ticks, mite, lice, and fleas. Again, ticks they are having two type of ticks, soft tick and hard tick. Again, this hard tick, they are having one host, two host, or three host tick. So for the completion of their life cycle, they require one animal, two animal, or three host for their life cycle. So accordingly, it is categorized into the hard and soft tick. Then again, mite. So these mite, these are the small parasites which are found on the animal's body, and we will see in next slide. Then some lice and fleas. Nowadays, there is more lice and fleas infestation we are frequently found in case of the small ruminants. So when these external parasites they are present on the animal body, so at that time it causes economical losses. So those skin diseases they are very much neglected, especially in case of the small ruminants. In case of canine, we are very much aware of the skin diseases and we are frequently taking follow-up and we are very eager for the diagnosis. But in case of small animal, due to the no mortality or there is a neglect appearance, it is found. So these skin diseases, it is having more of the economical losses. So first, when these ectoparasites they are present on the animal's bodies, it will create some irritation or annoyance. And due to that irritation, animal cannot concentrate on the feeding and water intake. That's why we can see the whatever the growth rate of the animal, it is decreased one. Also, milk production or meat production of the animal, it is decreased one. So there is a irritation or annoyance, it can be occurred. Then there is a loss of wool and hair. Due to the presence of skin lesions, we can found there is a loss of wool as well as hair. And that hide and skin, they are having less value in the market. So whenever we go for the purchase of or selling of the animal, so at that time, market price of such animal, it has been typically reduced one. Because any animal owner or any persons, they are purchasing the animal by looking the physical or general visual performance of the body coat of the animal. So at that time, if any animal it is having skin lesion, so automatically market value of such animal it is reduced one. Also, some good breeds are there or pure breed are there like Usmanabadi or Beetle. When that male animal they are having any skin disease, so at that time there is we are restrict the breeding of such type of animal. So we are lost the breeding of such imported or preserved type of animal. And due to that, there is a premature culling of affected animal. It is automatically done. So these are the some important losses which we can observe to the skin infection. And apart from these external parasites, they are transmitting important diseases. For example, a tick. So these ticks, they are transmitting the hemoprotozoan diseases like babesiosis, theileriosis, certain rickettsial disease like anaplasma, or sometimes it can cause tick paralysis. So such disease transmission, it will occur one. And if the animal they are having external parasites, so at that time they are having infectious and contagious nature. So within a short period of time, animal or there is a spread of disease or spread of lesions from one animal to the other animal, it can be occur one. Then first we'll discuss about the important ectoparasitic infestation due to the occurrence of mange. So mange it is caused due to the mite infestation, and broadly it is mange. It is a broad term. So in this broad term, or whenever the infection of the skin due to the mite infestation it will occur, it is called as the mange. So mange they are categorized into the four types: sarcoptic mange, sauroptic mange, demodectic, and chorioptic. This sarcoptic and this demodectic mange, they are the burrowing mite. So they are penetrating into the skin of animal. While this sauroptic mange and chorioptic, they are superficial mite or they are non-burrowing mite, it is generally called as. And also this sarcoptic mange, it causes the zoonotic importance, or it can transmit the disease in case of the human being or skin lesion. It can be occurred due to the handling. So the sarcoptic, it is commonly known as scabies. Sauroptic, it is the ear mange. Demodectic, follicular mange, and chorioptic, it is the leg mange. So these are the four type of mange or these mites which are frequently encountered in case of the small ruminants. So first we'll discuss about the sarcoptic mange. So it is the most commonly observed mange in case of the sheep and goat. So it is caused due to the sarcoptic scabies organism, which is having 0.4 to 0.6 millimeter diameter. It is a burrowing mite. It is a penetrate into the epidermis layer of the skin, and it feeds on the serum or tissue fluid or this hair follicle. And it is having very contagious nature. Once one animal it is affected, frequently or within short period, more animal it is affected, and it is having acute type of nature. And important sign, it is intense pruritus. Once animal they are having sarcoptic type of mange, there is a continuous itching we can found. And most important, it is having the zoonotic appearance. Or whenever this sheep and goat we handle, veterinarian or this animal owner, goat owner, or any persons who are handling such type of affected animal, so at that time there are some papules or reddish pustules we can see on the arm or exposed body part of the animal. On the neck or on the chest or on the hand, we can see the such type of lesions, and these lesions are very much irritating one. So erythematous papular lesions, it observed due to the handling of such type of animal. So in macroscopic examination, whenever we go for the deep skin scraping examination, so at that time we can see such type of mite. And these are the typical lesions. So the sarcoptic mange, in this mainly head and ear of the animal, they are mostly affected one. So no doubt, whole body it can be affected, but most of the lesions we found on the head, neck, and abdomen, on the thigh of the animal. So in these lesions, we can see on the face, on the animal, or generalized type of lesions. Sometimes it occur because in case of sarcoptic mange, there is a continuous itching. It is there, and due to the continuous itching, there is a bleeding tendency on the skin or erythema. It will occur, and there is a rapid spread of lesion on the whole body. It is there. And in that case, there is a secondary bacterial infection chances are more one. And in case of sarcoptic mange, scaly type of lesion, wrinkling of the skin we can found. Due to the constant itching, there is a oozing of serum or fluid from the body of the animal. It is there. So there is a thick crust. So whatever the papules and pustules are there, it is converted into the crust form. So crusty type of lesion. In this photograph, you can see due to the secondary bacterial infection, there is a scar formation, crusty type of lesion, or it is called as hyperkeratosis. There is a increase in the thickness of the skin of animal due to the secondary bacterial infection. It is there. And due to that, there is rapid loss of body weight of animal. In milking animal, there is a decreased milk production, damage to the skin or head it is there, and there is a secondary bacterial infection or pyoderma we can frequently found. So whenever this sarcoptic mange it is observed, so at that time there are some diseases are there which we can differentiate from the sarcoptic mange. So first is sauroptic mange, zinc responsive dermatitis, insect hypersensitivity, and atopic dermatitis. So in field condition, So many times there are no facility of laboratory examination, it is there, and there are limitations are there. So at that time, on the basis of only physical examination and categorization of the skin lesion, we can easily differentiate the mange infestation. So zinc deficiency. So in zinc deficiency, there is a symmetrical erythema, it will there. So there is a reddish discoloration of the skin, and this whatever the crust and scale formation it is there, so we can found around the eyes. So there is a thick raised type of lesions we can found around the eyes of animal, or sometimes lesions they are present on the face, ear pinna, mucocutaneous junction, or pressure points, elbow or hop joints, they are also affected one. And pruritus, in case of this nutritional deficiency, generally it is absent one. And once it is invaded with the secondary bacteria, pruritus, it may be intense one. So according to the invasion of bacteria, itching we can found. So here we can clear cut see. In case of sarcoptic lesions, they are very shallow type of lesion. While in case of zinc deficiency, there is a crusty, grayish, raised type of lesions are there. And generally, periphery of the skin, it is generally affected one. So in this what we can see, the tip of the ear, it is affected. So here we can see tip of the ear, or periocular alopecia, it can be also occur, or at the distal part of the body, skin lesions we can observe. So whenever such type of lesions we observe, so at that time, such animal, it should be treated with the chelated mineral mixture, and this combination of the multi-minerals like this. Nowadays in market, mineral mixtures which are containing zinc, copper, cobalt, selenium, they are occurring. So that mineral mixture, it is recommended in case of the small ruminants. Or we can go for the injection of multi-mineral injection. So injection this Curan 9 or steam weight, these injections, they are containing all these micromineral combinations. And dose rate, it is 2 ml intramuscular, and it is given weekly. Once in a week, it is given, and here about 4 to 6 doses. It is for 1.5 month therapy it is required at weekly interval, along with the supplementation of the chelated mineral mixture. Such cases they are required very well. Or locally we can apply zinc oxide or glycerin ointment. So 2% ointment we can apply locally for the early recovery. Then a second differential disease, it is insect hypersensitivity. So in case of sarcoptic mange lesions, they are occur on the whole body or at the ear pinna or face region. While in case of insect bite hypersensitivity, most of the time lesions, they are only occurring on the dorsal abdomen, dorsal aspect of the abdomen. And these lesions, it is due to the hypersensitivity reaction due to the bite of insect like culicoids. So when this culicide bite, it will occur when the animals, they are grazing at the field condition. So at that time, animals, they are having such itching type of lesions, and lesions on the upper portion or dorsal abdomen we can see. So typically, restriction of lesion to the dorsal abdomen, it is a clear-cut symptom of the insect bite hypersensitivity. So in that case, we can go for the injection antihistaminic for a period of 3 to 5 days. This condition, it can be recovered very easily. Then a second mite, it is soroptic mite. So soroptic mange, commonly it is known as ear mange, and in case of sheep and goat, it is soroptic cunicule, and the soroptic capre. So soroptic capre, it is the male mite, but this cunicule. So this cunicule mite, they are generally invading into the ear canal of the kids or small goat. So this invasion of this particular mite in the ear canal, we can see whenever we go for the typical or detailed examination of the ear canal. So at that time, we can see there is a yellowish waxy material, or there is a typical smell, it can be occur from the ear of animal. And such animal, they are having the constant itching or constant shaking of the head, it is there. Or such animal, they are scratching their ears with the help of mouth or with the help of their foreleg or hand leg. So there is a head shaking, ear scratching, and there is a accumulation of some cerumen in the ear canal, you can see, or formation of crust or alopecia at the ear pinna. So here we can see, so it is called as a ear mange. So the soroptic mange, it is known as the ear mange, because in this disease, lesions, they are very much difficult to the periphery. So like in zinc deficiency. So sometimes there is confusion between zinc deficiency and soroptic mange. In zinc deficiency, there is a elevated grayish thick type of lesions are there. While in case of soroptic mange, shallow type of superficial lesion we can see in the soroptic mange. There is a sometimes there are chances of otitis media or interna we can see in case of the secondary infection. So here we can see this is the typical case of soroptic capre infestation, in which we can see there is a scale, allopathic patches, typically on the ear, periphery. So here, periphery of the ear, it is affected one. Sometimes such animals, they are having concurrent fungal infection also. So here in this picture, we can see tail of the animal, or at the periphery of the tail, we can see typical crusty type of allopathic lesion. And such animal, they are having itching. Whenever there is no treatment, it is given, itching, it can be occurred. Then this soroptic diseases, we can differentiate it from again sarcoptic mange or zinc responsive dermatitis. Then third mange, it is the demodectic mange. So this type of mange, it is commonly found in case of the canine, dog, red mange or follicular mange. But in case of sheep and goat, it is less commonly observed. But nowadays, in case of goat, we found the cases of this demodectic mange. And the organism, it is demodect capre or demodect ovis in case of sheep and goat. And typically, this mite, they are residing, these are the burrowing mite. So they are residing into the hair follicle and sebaceous gland. All other mange or mite like sarcoptic or soroptic, they are invading into the epidermis. While this demodectic mange or this type of mite, they are invading deeply into the hair follicle or at the sebaceous gland. And that's why these cases, they are not transferred from one animal to another animal. So there should be close contact. It is necessary for the transmission of this disease. Otherwise, individual cases we can see in case of the sheep and goat. And it is non-contagious type of disease. It is there. And whenever we take the deep skin scraping up to the capillary oozing, whenever we collected skin scraping, so at that time, typical sugar shape. So elongated sugar shape mite which are having 4 legs of the stumpy legs. So it is called as the stumpy leg. And this is the elongated sugar shape typical mite we can see in the hair follicle. So these mite, it is the normal habitat of the animal. In normal animal, it does not cause any disease. But if the animal, they are having any concurrent infection, like in case of sheep and goat, there is a stress of this kidding, it is there. Or stress of any other hippoprotozoan diseases or other fungal diseases, or stress of lactation, it is there, or stress of any mismanagemental or if the managemental practices are not good. So at that time, this mite, it becomes flare up. And due to the immunosuppression, there is a start of multiplication of this mite in the skin of animal we can observe. And only in the immunosuppression animal, we can see the clinical form of the demodicosis. So in case of sheep and goat, whenever these mites, they are invading hair follicles, so at that time, there is a papular or nodular lesions are there. And these nodules, they are typically found on the head region, face, neck and shoulder. These are the common areas for the formation of these pustules. And due to the constant itching, or there is a due to the deep involvement of this mite into the hair follicle, there is a draining tract or discharge of the yellowish material. It can come from the skin of animal. So there is a crust or abscess we can see. Sometimes furunculosis, rupture of hair follicle, it is there, and it can lead to the secondary bacterial infection. So and these lesions are very painful one due to the invasion of these coronabacteria, E. coli, streptococci, staphylococci. So gram-positive organisms, they are generally invaded one, and these lesions are very painful one or pruritic one. So here we can see erythematous raised a small type of nodules in case of the demodectic affected goat. So this demodectic mange we can differentiate from impetigo, follicular or furunculosis, dermatophillosis or caseous lymphadenitis. So whatever the diseases which are having the similar type of draining tracts, so such type of diseases we can differentiate from the demodectic mange. So first is the impetigo. So this is the bacterial disease. So it is known as the superficial pustular dermatitis. So name itself, these superficial pustules, they are observed in this disease. And there is an invasion of the bacteria, Staphylococcus aureus, it is there. So here in this photograph, we can see these are the scabby pustular type of superficial lesions observed on the udder or on the teeth of the animal or on the base of the tail. So here on the base of the tail, we can see pustular type of lesions. And this impetigo, it occurs due to the predisposing factors like any wound or any moisture it is there, or any stress of parturition or lactation it is there. And these kids, small animals as well as lactating animals, they are more affected by. So immunodepressed animals, they are mostly affected with this impetigo. And lesions, they are mostly restricted to the udder teeth, ventral abdomen, or this ventral aspect of the tail. And sometimes due to the presence of these lesions, there is a staphylococcal mastitis, it can be occurred. Then the second disease, it is folliculitis or furunculosis. So in demodecosis, small pustular nodules are there. But in folliculitis or furunculosis, there is a rupture of hair follicle we can see. And it is commonly known as acne or hair follicle rupture. And again, there is invasion of the Staphylococcus aureus, it is there. And most predisposing factors are trauma and moisture. So during rainy season or whenever there is a prolonged wet area of the skin of sheep and goat, it is there. So at that time, there is a invasion of this bacteria we can generally found. And lesions, they are mostly on the face, ear pinna, distal leg or back side of the animal. And these draining tracts and ulcer formation we can see. So in this photograph, we can see there is a severe ulcerative lesions are observed due to the rupture of the hair follicle in case of the folliculitis and furunculosis. While in case of demodecosis, such type of severe lesions we never found. Only small pustular lesions we can see. Then third, it is the dermatophylosis. So again, it is one of the bacterial disease. Nowadays, it is frequently found in case of large animal or small ruminants also. It is commonly known as streptozycosis, runoff or scarred line. And it is caused by the bacteria Dermatophilus congolensis. And these are the filamentous hyphae, and it is a motile zoospore. And mostly these bacteria, they are normally present, but whenever the some predisposing factors like prolonged wet area or during the rainy season, there is a or damage of the skin. So damage of the skin due to any cause, due to the bite of insect, bite of tick, or any trauma to the skin of animal, or high humidity. So this bacteria, it required moisture for the multiplication, for the proper multiplication. And generally in case of dermatophylosis, face area, ear pinna, dorsal abdomen, tail area, or sometime udder or scrotum, it can be affected by. And pent brush like lesions we can see. So typical pent brush lesions we can see in case of the distal part of the body of the animal. So these animals, they are generally having no any itching. But once it is lesions are severe ones, so at that time animals start itching or painful lesions we can see. And in the chronic lesions, there is a dry crust formation, scaly and alopecia we can see on the different body part. So here we can see there is a small oozing of lesions and there is a allopathic type of lesions are there. And it is due to the invasion of this dermatophilus bacteria. So when we are taking impression smear, so at that time, or skin scraping, so at that time you can see this filamentous type of branching pattern of this bacteria. So this gram-positive bacteria, they are having railroad-like appearance. So they are in the parallel lines, we can see such type of, in case of the microscopic examination. So here, the distal leg of the animal, they are mostly affected. Because during the rainy season or due to the mud, so these area, they are constantly in contact with the water. And there is a more multiplication of bacteria we can see. So in this, it is a gram-positive disease or gram-positive bacteria. So it will give very good result for the penicillin. Streptopenicillin for a period of 5 days or up to 7 days, it can give the better result. Or we can wash such type of lesion with the help of chlorhexidine. 1 to 2% chlorhexidine or to avoid the trauma or skin trauma, so we have to control the insects, because this predisposing factor of this disease, it is one of the insect bite. So we have to control the insect vectors in the particular farm. And you have to isolate the clinically affected animal. So whatever the animals which are susceptible with this disease, because it is contagious to the other animal, so that animal, it should be isolated one, and treatment it is necessary one. And whatever the persons or veterinarians which are handling such type of cases, they should wear the hand gloves, or the doctors who are handling such cases, so in that case they have to wash their hands with the sanitizer properly, because sometimes this disease, it can cause itching or pustular type of lesions on the hand of the animal. Then next, it is a caseous lymphadenitis. So nowadays, in most of the sheep and goat farms, we are frequently encountered this disease at the field condition. So this disease, it is caused by the Coronabacterium pseudotuberculosis. So it is like in the category of tuberculosis disease. And main predisposing factor, it is the skin trauma. So once the animal started the grazing, or in the grazing land, whatever the grasses and feed it is there, so that feed, it can cause the trauma to the head region of the animal, or to the foreleg or shoulder or neck area, trauma it can be occurring. And whenever the cases of this disease are there, it occurs in the two form, external form and internal form. So external type of form, in this form we can see there is an enlargement of the palpable lymph nodes, and this form, it is most commonly observed in case of the goat. While this internal form, in internal form, internal lymph nodes and vital organs like liver, kidney, they are affected one, and such animal, they act as a carrier for the transmission of the disease. So generally in case of the sheep, so in sheep it is called as the Chichi gland or thin U syndrome. So these are the synonyms which are given to this disease. Due to the respiratory secretion or nasal secretion, or due to the secretion, infected secretion, so such animal, they act as a spread of infection to the other animal. And in case of external form, there is a formation of abscess in the peripheral lymph node we can see. So here we can see. So these all sheep, they are suffering with the caseous lymphadenitis. So we can see whatever the parotid lymph nodes, prescapular or any lymph node, prefemoral lymph nodes, they are very swollen one. And once that lymph node, they are matured one, so there is a after maturation of this lymph node, there is a draining of these lesions are there. And from that lesion, we can see whitish cheesy type of material, it will excrete in the environment of animal, and that discharge act as a source of transmission to the other animal. So this goat owner or sheep owner, they are very much neglected to this disease. There is a less mortality, due to the less mortality. But whatever the performance of animals are there, they are very less. So once animal it is infected in a particular farm, so that farm it act as a carrier for the life form, or that animal it act as a carrier for a life form. So there is a permanent culling of animal, it is necessary in case of the control of this caseous lymphadenitis. And there is a rapid decrease in the body weight of the animal, decrease milk or meat production of the animal, it is there. And whatever the sheep which are susceptible with this caseous lymphadenitis, so during postmortem examination, we can see there is a huge changes in the internal organs we can see. And internal lymph nodes are there, then liver, lung, kidney. So that organ, they are very much damaged one. So such type of care, or there is a removal of animal from our farm, it is mandatory for the control of such type of disease. Then next, it is the this dermatophytosis or ringworm. So sometimes this sarcoptic mange or soroptic type of mange cases, they are very much confused with the fungal infection. So these dermatophyte cases, we are commonly found in the whenever the environment it is having high humidity, because this fungi, they required humidity for their growth. And in case of dermatophytosis lesions, they are again restricted to the head and neck region. So most of the time in case of goat, we can see annular or ring-like lesion. So such type of circular lesions we can see on the head, neck or shoulder region. Or sometimes due to the constant itching. So generally in fungal infection there is no itching. But due to the secondary bacterial infection, itching it can be occur one. And there is a constant pain and pruritus we can see in the only in secondary bacterial infection. Otherwise, there is a nothing. It is happen with the skin of the animal. So here in this photograph, we can see there is a typical type of lesions which are present on the head and face area. So in a fungal infection, lesions, they are most of the time they are restricted to the head and neck area. So here in this goat, we can see there is a circular annular type of lesions on the ear pinna as well as on the face region and this shoulder or neck region. We can see here the neck region. This is a typical example of the ringworm. So at the field level, we can see variable type of lesions, but mostly these ringworms, they are once they are multiplied at the center. So they are multiplying at the periphery of that lesion. And due to that peripheral multiplication of these fungi, it will give a typical ring-like lesion or circular type of lesion. So whenever we found these ringworm cases at the field level, so first you have to clip the area or whatever the lesions are there, you have to clip the area. And that hair clipping, it should be properly disposable because that hair material, they are containing the fungi, and that hair they act as a source of infection to the environment of the animal. So there is a proper disposal of the whatever the clean area of that particular lesions are there. And after that, we can go for the 2 to 4% lime sulfate or povidone iodine 1%. It is having very good result. So directly from the medical shop, this owner, it can take 1 to 2% povidone iodine and they can directly apply on the lesions in the 2 times, morning, evening application it is necessary, and generally 3 weeks treatment it is necessary because this growth of fungi, it is or whatever the fungal lesions are there, they are not easily recovered one. So that's why longer treatment it is necessary in case of the fungal infection. So 3 weeks or 4 weeks treatment generally recommended in case of the any ringworm cases. Or we can go for this chlorhexidine or sodium hypochlorite or this Whitefield ointment, which is containing benzoic acid and salicylic acid. So benzoic acid, it is the antibacterial, and salicylic acid is creatolytic agent. So it is one of the gold standard treatment which is routinely used in case of the ringworm. Or alternatively, we can go for the application of currant oil or neem seed oil. So again, this two combination, it will give very better result at the field level. So simply you have to take the 2 equal parts of this currant oil and neem seed oil. So this is neem seed oil and currant oil. It is available in any medical shop, and you have to mix the equal concentration and you can apply in the morning, evening for a period of 3 to 4 weeks. Then fourth mange, it is choreoptic mange, which is commonly known as the tail mange or leg mange. So these mange, it is having typical L-shaped type of lesion or boat shape of the lesion. So this hand, leg or ventral body part of the animal, it is typically affected one. And most of the cases of this mange, they are frequently found in the winter season. So most all these mange, they are found mostly in case of the winter season because multiplication of this mite, it requires low temperature. Or in the cold weather, these mites, they are having the rapid multiplication. In the low temperature, there is a better multiplication of the mite we can observe. So most of the mange, any sarcoptic, sauroptic, demodetic or choreoptic. So in case of the low temperature, typically in the winter season, we can found the such type of mange cases. So again, it is a non-burrowing mite and lesions are restricted to the hand, leg or around the tail area, perianum area, or typical L shape or boat shape lesions we can see in such type of cases. Then the treatment. So treatment for all 4 type of mange. So here we can give number of options for the treatment in case of the mange. So we can go for the cypermethrin or permethrin at the dose rate of 4 ml per liter. So any preparations which are available in the market, which is containing permethrin or cypermethrin, it can be given at an interval of 7 to 10 days. Or these lime sulfur dips. So it is very approved type of treatment in case of the treatment of the mange. So this hot sulfur lime dip 2 to 4% it is given continuously for a period of 5 days, and after that it can be given weekly. So weekly treatment it is necessary, but at the start of the treatment, when there are more severe lesions are there, we can go for the sulfur dip or sulfur spray for a period of continuous 5 days, and after that you can continue at the weekly interval for a period of 3 to 4 doses are necessary. Or we can go for the injection ivermectin or doramectin. So whatever the preparations which are available in the market, so it can be given at the dose rate of 200 microgram per kg body weight or 0.2 milligram per kg body weight subcutaneous at the weekly interval it is given. Again, it requires 3 to 4 weeks doses. But sometime due to the frequent use of this ivermectin and doramectin, there is a resistance it can be occur. So for that purpose, we can go for the alternative therapy with the neem oil and currants oil. So locally we can apply this oil and it will give very good result. Or simply whatever the available material are there. So aloe vera paste. So just you have to clean one aloe vera plant part and you have to make the paste, and that paste it will also act as an anti-inflammatory and this acaricidal action. Or simply povidone iodine 1 to 2% it can be given. And in case of the secondary bacterial infection, like in case of sarcoptic or demotic mange, we can go for the broad spectrum antibiotics like endofloxacin, ciprofloxacin or tetracycline we can give for a period of 3 to 5 months. And most important, separation of animal from other animal. So in case of mange, it is very contagious nature type of disease. So you have to isolate the affected animal and you have to go for the treatment of such affected animal. So most of the time when the mange it is there, we are only concentrating on the affected animal. But what about the environment? Because in environment, disinfection, it is also important one. So spraying of the shades and in and around area, the chlorhexidine or sodium hypochlorite, it is very essential for the removal of this mange. Then next ectoparasite, it is the lice infestation, which is commonly known as the pediculosis. So in any animal, whenever there is a lice infestation, it is there. So there is one term known as pediculosis. So this lice, nowadays lice infestation, it is more common in case of the sheep and goat. And we are neglecting this lice. So presence of lice on the animal body, sometimes it is neglected by animal owner and veterinarians also, because we are thinking that these small lice, they are not having any harmful effect on the body of animal. But when the animals, they are having anemia or there is a constant irritation or itching. So most of the time this biting and sucking lice it can cause, especially the sucking lice. It suck the blood or tissue fluid of the animal. And in case of the rapidly growing kids, we can see there is an anemia. And we thought that anemia is due to the internal parasite, and we are concentrating on hemoptysis or any other J parasite when we are giving endoparasiticidal preparations. But once you have to examine the body of animal or hair of the animal, so at that time you can see small lice which are present on the skin of the animal. So these lice, they are having two types, biting lice and the sucking lice. So these biting lice, they are having a broad head. So head, it is broad one and it is having pale to brownish color. So brownish color lice we can see. And sometimes sucking lice, it is having the grayish type of lesion. So grayish type of coloration in microscopic examination. And this sucking lice, they feed on the blood or tissue fluids. While these biting lice, they are feed on the hair follicle or on the epidermis layer of the skin of animal. So, in case of sheep and goat, once you examine the skin superficially in the opposite direction, just you examine the hair follicle or hair of the skin coat of the animal. So, you can see such type of small lice infestation. Otherwise, this mange or this mite or any ringworm, they are not, we can see from the naked eye. But this lice we can see very well with our naked eye. Once you have to go for the close examination or with the help of some this torch of mobile or some light source it is there, we can easily see the small structure which are moving on the hair follicle or on the hair surface of the animal. So the examination of hair in the opposite direction, it is necessary one. So this lice infestation, again, it is most commonly observed in the cold weather. So it requires low temperature for the multiplication of the lice. And these lice, they are completing their life cycle within a period of 21 days. So like mite, it is having larvae, nymph and adult. And it will take near about 3 weeks for the completion of life cycle. And these lice, they are completing whole life cycle on the body of animal itself only. Like ticks, it requires host for some portion for the completion of life cycle. But these lice, they are completing whole life cycle on the body of host or on the body of sheep and goat. And frequently area that is head region, neck region, dorsal abdomen or groin region, we can see such type of lice in case of the animal. So sometimes these eggs of lice. So in spite of the adult lice, this egg, whenever they are completing their life cycle, we can see there is a oval shape or pale colorless type of eggs. So these are called as the nits. So eggs of lice, it is called as the nits. So these nits we can see on the hair shaft of the animal. This hair of the affected animal. So this hair shaft, it is having these nits. And these nits, they are very much harmful. So again, it can cause the or it can cause irritation to the hair shaft, or they are also sucking the fluid from the body of animal. So whenever we go for the treatment, so in case of the treatment, whatever the treatment we are giving, so generally this fipronil spray or cypermethrin, they are effective for the control of lice. Or directly we can go for the this shearing. Shearing of the sheep and goat, it is necessary one. But sometime due to the extreme weather condition, or if the animal they are lactating or pregnant one, so shearing it is not possible one. So at that time we can go for the treatment. So this fipronil spray or this cypermethrin spray, it will give better result. But this spray, it should be applied after a period of for 10 days or 14 days. Because this type of treatment, it will only kill the adult lice, not the these nits or egg of the or hatching stages of the lice. So due to the killing of these hatching stages, we have to wait another for 10 to 15 days. And again, there is a repeat treatment after 15 days. It is necessary to kill the all stages of the lice. So these commonly at field level, fipronil spray or cypermethrin, they are very much found effective. Then some diseases are there which is having similar appearance to the mange, mite or ringworm, like this contagious eczema. So it is a viral disease which is commonly known as ORF or pustular dermatitis, scabby mouth. It is these cases, they are very easy for the diagnosis. So only this sheep owner, goat owner, they can also say our goat, it is suffering with the this mawa. It is in local language, it is called as mawa. And it is caused by this parapox virus. And rapidly growing lambs, they are mostly susceptible one. And lesions, they are mostly found on the mucocutaneous junction. So thick scabby type of lesions, they are observed on the mucocutaneous junction of the affected animal. So these lesions, they are restricted to the mouth parts or mucocutaneous of the lip of the animal, it is there. So sometimes there is a involvement of respiratory system, it is also there in case of the severe cases. Though in case of contagious eczema, mortality rate, it is very low. But whatever the secondary bacterial infection due to the constant itching, because these type of lesions, they are very itchy one. And animals, they can rub their skin to the any hard object. So any wall or any tree or any whatever the shade it is there. So there is a constant itching we can see. And due to that constant itching, there is a bleeding tendency from that nodules we can see. And sometimes if there is no any treatment it is given, so at that time there is a maggot formation, it can be occurred in some cases of the untreated cases. So that's why there is a prompt treatment. It is necessary in the early stages of the disease. So in the early stages, so this disease, it is a viral disease, and generally entry of this virus, it is only due to the trauma. So when the animals, they are start to graze, so at that time they are having the wound at their mouth cavity. In and around their face, they are having the wound, and after that wound, they are having the small pustular or nodular type of lesion. And if we are not starting the treatment, that pustules, it leads to the scabby type of thick type of lesions. It is there. So if the animal, it is having edematous scabby lesions, so at that time, such animals, they are not properly take food and water properly. And due to the starvation or secondary bacterial infection, mortality rate is very high. Especially in the rapidly growing kids, we can see the high mortality rate. See, such animal, if it is having very severe type of lesion, so in that case, we cannot expect the animal to take feed and water. We cannot force to take the feed and water. So just we have to go for the treatment. So just you have to wash these lesions, or you have to apply the turmeric or ghee or turmeric or any sweet oil. We can apply on that lesion, and after the scar formation or after the healing, animals slowly they will take to feed and water normally. And in some cases, these antihistaminic or these anti-inflammatory or antibiotics, they are also necessary one. And if the animal, they are not taking food and water, we can go for also for the fluid therapy by intravenous route. So here again, these are the severe cases of the contagious eczema. Sometimes this contagious eczema pustular formation, it can be spread to the ear pinna or face of the animal. So this kid, it is having the pustular type of lesions on the head and face region. Then next, it is the goat pox. So these goat pox cases, it is caused by this capripox virus, and this virus, they are causing again less mortality, but morbidity rate, it is very high one. And once this virus, they are invading the skin of animal, so it can cause small. Initially, there is a small papular or pustular lesions are there, and this virus, they are penetrating the whole thickness of the skin, and later on there is a scar formation, it is there. And once pox lesions are developed, so that lesions, it will require more time for the healing purpose. So whenever we are treating the pox cases, there is a scar formation we can see for a longer period of time. So near about 3 weeks or 4 weeks, they are required for the healing purpose, because this virus, they are affecting the whole thickness of the skin of the affected animal. And generally in case of pox, non-hairy portion, they are mostly affected one. So this head and neck region, or ventral abdomen, teeth, or at the base of the tail, we can inner aspect of the tail, we can see the such type of lesion. And simply we can prevent this goat pox or sheep pox by giving vaccination. So goat pox and these sheep pox vaccines are available. So probably in the month of December, vaccination is generally indicated one. So this skin disease, though it is a viral one, but we can avoid the incidence to some extent by giving the vaccination. Then in some diseases like foot and mouth disease, there is a vesicle formation we can see in the mouth cavity. And once the animal, they start to take the feed and water, so at that time that vesicle, it becomes rupture one. And there is a erythematous ulcerative type of lesions we can see. And there is a constant salivation, thick sticky salivation or stringy salivation we can see. Like in case of large ruminant, there is a salivation, it is not prominent in case of sheep and goat. In large ruminant, there is a stringiness of saliva we can see. But in case of sheep and goat, only vesicular lesions we can see in the mouth cavity. And also in the hoof, in the interdigital hoof, we can see there is a pustular vesicular lesions, and animal, they are having difficult walking. So also we can prevent this disease by giving vaccination twice in a year. Then another disease, that is blue tongue, it is again viral disease, which is caused due to this orbivirus. which is transmitted by the insect. This is one of the disease which are transmitting due to the insect vectors. And in this disease, apart from the skin lesion, so there is a edema of the head and neck region we can see. So in this sheep, we can see edema of the eyelid, it is there, edema of the face region, and typically a blue tongue. So there is a bluish or bluish discoloration, it is there. These orbivirus, they are invading or they are affecting the reticuloendothelial system of the animal. And due to the affection of RE system, there is a pinpoint hemorrhages, it is there. And whatever the oxygen supply to the tongue, it is there. Because major target organ in case of blue tongue, it is tongue. And due to the decreased supply of oxygen to the tongue, it is having typical bluish discoloration. So it is called as the blue tongue. And apart from the affection of head region, there is a whatever the coronate region it is there. Who find these leg regions? There is a erythematous or swelling of the coronate region we can see. And such animal, they are having the lameness. In severe cases, there is a sloughing of this foot. It can also occur. Then next it is PPR. So again, it is a viral disease in which oral cavity of the animal it is mostly affected one. But this PPR, it is viral disease and it is having very acute type of nature. Within short period of time, more number of animals are affected and it is having high morbidity rate. Morbidity is 90 to 100%. While mortality is varied from 50 to 100% according to the treatment protocol or diagnosis. And in PPR, mostly this respiratory system and digestive system, it is mostly affected one. And we can see if the animal, rapidly growing animals with the nasal discharge, coughing, and this ocular lesions. So such type of erythematous scabby lesions, small scabby lesions we can see, along with the diarrhea. So nasal discharge along with diarrhea and spread of disease within a very short period of time, then definitely it is a case of PPR. So early treatment it is necessary, otherwise mortality rate it is very high in case of the PPR. And to avoid this disease, we can go for the again vaccination, which will give protection for a period of 3 years. Then sometime in case of large animal, we are frequently found this wart or papillomatosis cases. But in case of sheep and goat, such type of condition, it is comparatively less one. But once or whenever we diagnose such type of wart in case of animal, so in that case, we can see the lesions, they are only restricted to the head and neck region. So in case of cattle or equine or canine, we can see whole body of the animal, what lesions it can be occur one. But in case of sheep and goat, lesions, they are mostly restricted to the head and neck. So eyelid, so near eyelid, here we can see raised type of grayish lesions, they are occurring at the nostril, around the nostril or at the eyelid or at the dorsal aspect of the ear pinna. Here in this photograph, we can see at the base of ear tip. So at the base of ear tip, typical wart lesions are there. So such type of wart lesions, they are very easy for the treatment. Just you have to apply the hair of horse or nylon. So you have to apply the tight nylon. So automatically that wart becomes rid of. Or if the animal, they are having lesions at the sensitive portion, at the nostril or at the eyelid. So at that time, we cannot apply the this nylon or any thread. So at that time, we can go for the treatment. So in case of large animal, we are giving this lithium antimony thiomyelin. So likewise, we can same treatment in small animal we can give. So dose it is very less. So 2 ml is given. So 3 times in a week it can be given, or similarly along with the antimyelin we can give, apply this thuja ointment locally on the wart area, or this thuja extract drops we can given morning evening for a period of 3 weeks. So generally 3-week treatment or more than 1 month treatment, sometime it can be necessary one. So in this photograph we can see this lower jaw of the animal, it is having the small wart-like raised type of grayish lesion. So here ear pinna, small wart lesions, they are observed on the ear pinna. So head and neck region, so we can differentiate this wart lesion from the zinc deficiency or sarcoptic image, soroptic image or ringworm. That's why I have included in this topic. So this is a viral disease. So once the animal they are having good cellular immunity or cell-mediated immunity, automatically after strong immunity, the whatever the infection of this wart, it is less one. So as the age of animal increases and there is a modulation of the cell-mediated immunity, so these lesions they are less severe one. But if the animal they are having lesions at the sensitive part near the nostril, it can having difficulty for the respiration. On the eyelid, it can cause the infection to the eye also. So in that cases, treatment it is necessary one. Or at the field level, simply you can go for the atohemotherapy. Just you have to withdraw the 2 ml blood from the jugular vein, and same blood it can be injected by intramuscular route, and it can increase. There is increase in the immunoglobulin M it is there, and immunity it can be occur. Or immunomodulation drug like levamisole, it can be also given at the dose rate of 2.5 milligram per kg body. Then in sheep and goat nowadays, due to the intensive sheep and goat farming, we are frequently encountered the nutritional deficiency diseases. So whatever the copper deficiency, zinc deficiency are there, such type of diseases are there. And most of the time we are giving ivermectin, or we are applying some COVID iodine or some alternative therapy. In spite of giving ivermectin, there is no any recovery of the such lesions are there. So in that case, we have to differentiate that lesions with the nutritional deficiency diseases like copper deficiency. In copper deficiency, typical periocular alopecia we can found. And along with the skin, because this copper they are having important role in the keratinization of the skin. And once there is a defect in the keratinization, it is there is a thickening and alopecia we can see. So in the copper deficiency, we can see typical allopathic lesions around the eye, periocular alopecia it is there. Around the muzzle or eyes we can see. So here it is the photograph in which we can see. So other rest of the kids they are normal one, but this kid it is having the periocular alopecia and also the crust or allopathic lesions on the ear pinna and on the nostril. So at that time we have to differentiate it from the other mange or ringworm, or we have to supplement. It is considering as a copper deficiency with the help of oral copper sulfate. Oral copper sulfate 2 gram or 4 gram it is given according to the body weight. So weekly treatment it is necessary, and along with that we can provide chelated mineral mixture. So chelated mineral mixture it is again giving good result whenever we are giving it is for a 1 month or 2 month period. So accordingly we can treat the cases. So lastly, I will conclude this webinar, the take-home message. These skin diseases in case of small ruminants, nowadays it is having very much economic importance. So we have to concentrate, or we have to give importance for the differential diagnosis as well as rapid and prompt treatment for such diseases. Ectoparasitic infestation needs prompt attention because most of the skin diseases due to the ectoparasites prevalence of ectoparasitic diseases are more in case of the sheep and goat. So we have to regular examination, regular physical examination or body coat of animal it is necessary, or we have to separate the animals once they are showed the small lesions are there, and we have to give the treatment to that particular case. And skin affections in case of small ruminants, they are challenging to the veterinarians because once these sheep and goat owners, they are brought animal to veterinarians. So after that, this follow-up of that cases, it is very difficult one. So that's why it is very much difficult for a veterinarian to take the follow-up of such cases. So that's why it is very much challenging to the veterinarian also. And in case of the affected animal, we have to isolate and treat prompt treatment in such skin diseases. They are necessary one. And awareness among the sheep and goat owner or importance. We have to educate the goat and sheep owner economic importance of skin diseases in case of the small ruminants. So awareness of the skin diseases apart from this health and management or feeding practices, we have to also educate the owner for the awareness of the skin diseases in case of the sheep and goat. So these are the different books I have referred for the preparation of this webinar. So thank you one and all